So as I'm looking at this shadow here, I'm just out for a walk. It's night time here in the northeast of England. It reminded us of the Dark Night of the Soul, which is what I want to talk a little bit more about to you guys, because some of you will have been through the Dark Night of the Soul, some of you might not have yet, but eventually everyone will experience an episode which will be the Dark Night of the Soul. And this episode is probably the hardest time of your life. You'll wake up every day, it'll be like a nightmare. And this often happens after something tragic happens, like you lose someone or you have a bad breakup and you feel very alone. You feel like all the things that you used to cling on to have been took away from you, so you've got nothing to cling on to anymore. This gets so bad that a lot of people contemplate suicide during it. I was certainly one of those. It happened to me about 3 years ago. And it lasted for me around about 6 months. Some people it lasts years, some people it lasts just weeks. It just depends on your level of awareness and what you need to learn during this epic experience here in this reality we find ourselves in. But what I will say is, if you're going through the Dark Night of the Soul, or you go through it at some point, is this: you will always be okay. Okay, so you'll get to these points where life becomes so hard and you feel like you can't cope anymore, and then something will happen to bring you out of that downward spiral and pick you up a little bit. This will keep happening over and over again. With me, it was if I was struggling with something mentally, I felt like I was going insane sometimes, I'd find a YouTube video talking about that exact thing I was thinking about, and all of a sudden it would just crop up on my YouTube feed out of nowhere. This is the universe's way of helping you through this. Or it could be your higher self, whatever you want to think of it. But what I do know is that the way this reality is designed is something is always there to bring you out of those really, really low times during the dark night, because I think we actually here to experience the dark night at some point. It's a turning point. It's the point where you turn away from the ego and find true love in your heart. Okay, because one of the things I was doing during the dark night was I was feeling so low, I had nothing else but to go inside myself and feel love. Okay, when I mean love, I don't just mean love for myself, I mean love for everybody. Even my enemies, like even people I fell out with in the past. I just lay down and I sent them love, because I knew that love is the only thing left when you're in such a bad negative spiral, and it gets so bad you realise that love is all that's left, and love is the only thing that kind of saves you from the despair. So one of the things I did, I loved everybody. I sent them love. And when I mean just send them love, I don't mean just praying like the Christians will tell you to do it. What this means is you really, really feel the love. Okay, you go back in your life and you see all the things you did to them, all the things they did to you, all the mistakes you've made, and you actually genuinely feel sorry for your actions, and you actually send them love, because you realise that everybody is you. Okay, when you're going through this experience, you realise everybody is an aspect of you, and what you do to others is then done to you at some point. Okay, so your ego is stripped away from you, and you start to really go within yourself. You do anything you can to survive through it. Every day when you wake up, you'll do the same little rituals, because if you don't do them, you feel like you'll go insane. It's just a very, very, very hard time, guys, and some of you will have already been through this. Some of you might not have yet. Some people probably don't go through it. I don't know. It's up to you. It's your decision how you want to live your life. And yeah, the Dark Night of the Soul, guys, it's a blessing and a curse. It was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, because afterwards I hit highs that I've never reached before. I lost most of my ego through it. I was able to focus and appreciate things more because I've been through the worst that life can bring you. And I honestly feel like now I've been through the dark night of the soul, guys, I feel like it only happens to you once, okay? So don't worry about it happening again. Because for a couple of years after mine, every day I would still think about it. It would haunt my mind, and I'd be so scared in case something like that happened again that I couldn't function very well for a couple of years after that. But eventually it's a blessing and a curse, because it leads to heights and highs and glorious, joyful feelings that you've never experienced before the dark night of the soul. Because the thing that causes the dark night of the soul is your ego and all the bad things you do to yourself and others. And it all comes and hits you hard. And that's the blessing, guys, because if it didn't come and hit you hard, you wouldn't change. You'd still be doing it, and then you would never change, and you'd constantly be getting karma. Your life would be constantly up and down, and you'll never find that balancing point where you can control your own reality, which is what the dark night of the soul teaches you to do. Okay, so thanks for listening, guys. I'll make more videos about the dark night of the soul, going into more depth, and yeah, have a nice day, guys. See you in the next video.